driving in today, it was bright sunshine until I got to Storrow Drive, and then saw the clouds and started lightning, and I'm sick of lightning. And I say that because our second game of the season against MIT was postponed today because of a lightning storm in the Cape. And our game against Coast Guard on last Saturday was also impacted by lightning. It was a great game. It was back and forth. And we got down a touchdown in the second quarter, and on the ensuing play, our freshman quarterback, Matt Spinazzola, out of Melbourne, Florida, threw a 58-yard touchdown pass to our freshman wideout, Jonathan Emond, who's from Green Harbor and Marshfield High School. Jonathan's a transfer from UMass, and he had 9 catches on the day for 152 yards. Those two also hooked up in the fourth quarter on a 19-yard touchdown pass. We came back from down 21-10 in the third to up 22-21 with 13:36 remaining. And I know that is the exact mark because on the next play, Coast Guard threw an 11-yard pass in the flat that we stripped the ball, covered the fumble, and then a second bolt of lightning hit over Buttermilk Bay, and the referee said, "That's it." Everybody in the locker room. So we had all the momentum in the world. We had the lead, we had the ball, and then the lightning delay just kind of took the wind out of our sails, literally. Coast Guard made some great plays. Their quarterback, Jesse Carr, was the NEFC Offensive Player of the Week. He came down and led Coast Guard on a winning drive. We had the ball a couple times in the last 6 minutes, but couldn't convert. But all in all, if you're watching the game, it was a great game to watch. I think Coach Cameron continues to learn a lot about a very, very young football team with over 50 freshmen on it. One of those freshmen I told you about last week, Deontay Fielder, who's a running back out of Haines City, Florida, had another great game. Rushing-wise, he had 81 yards and a 12-yard touchdown run. Jake Bickley, who was an all-conference punter and kicker last year for us out of Wilbraham and Minnetonka Regional High School, kicked his third field goal here, 28-yarder. And we got a great defensive effort from one of our senior captains, Jim Irwine, who's from Livingston Manor, New York. Jimmy's led us in tackles the last 2 years. He had 11 tackles last week, 7 solo. So that brings us to this week. We go on the road for the second time this year. Sammy talked about that Tufts will play their first home game on Saturday. We've played 4 already, 4 out of our first 5. So it's the second road test for us out to Westfield. Westfield is coming off 3 straight losses. They've played 3 excellent teams in our conference in Curry, Coast Guard, and Western New England. Maine Maritime. They lost to Curry by 1, lost in the last 14 seconds to Coast Guard, and it was an 8-point game up at Maine last Saturday. Westfield is also a very young team. They have a young quarterback. They lost a lot in the skill position last year to graduation. They have an outstanding wide receiver in David Budenoit, who had a good game against us last year. A game they won 34-3. This is the 28th meeting between the two. We've played every year since 1982. So we'll go on the road. It's Friday night, and it's supposed to rain. Something different for us. I think it's rained 3 of the last 5 weeks that we've played. So we'll see what happens on Friday night. Good luck. Congratulations to helmet winners. One last thing. I did tell you last week that Nathan Shear was in this week's edition of Faces in the Crowd. As you can see, Mariano Rivera's on the cover. If you're a Red Sox fan, you're hoping like hell the Sports Illustrated jinx is working its magic this week. So congratulations again, and see you next week.